Hello and welcome to the second week of Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host and voice of Tiger football, Collin Sheffield. Alongside me, as usual, head coach Jake Russell. Coach Russell, it was a gorgeous night, a beautiful atmosphere. We'll get to everything in just a second, but how did it feel to be back in Finley Stadium under the lights as head coach in your first game?
Yeah, I just couldn't imagine a better atmosphere for game one, not just of the season, but this whole thing with new head coach, new staff, new team, a lot of guys, just kind of a new era or chapter of Campbellsville football in a way. Just unbelievably grateful for the support, the fans, the university. We get to travel around to different stadiums, to different schools, and see all the different atmospheres. We sometimes we walk away wowed by the other universities, how they put on kind of not just a football game, but almost a performance in a way, entertainment for people to come and see and really enjoy. And man, again, just super grateful for our university, all of our fans, the families of the players, everybody that came out. Just one quick story was, I wear the headset with the two earmuffs. That way I can't hear them yelling at me when I make bad decisions, which are plenty. But I did take them off at one point in the third quarter to talk to a player or something. And I was like, wow, man, this atmosphere, you can feel the energy, feel the buzz, the band, the fans, everybody really getting into the game. And it was just a really special night. Obviously, I know we'll get into it, would have loved to, come out with a little bit different result there with the score. But, man, just an amazing night. And I think a really big, first night, and we say first brick by brick, but a first brick there for what we're trying to build here, within the football program. And
if you all didn't tune in and get to see it, it was a sight. There were people stacked all the way across every bleacher, all the bleachers on the side. There were people up on the hill, on the patio. They were lined up on the fence line. It was an outpouring of support, and I can't thank the Tiger fans enough, really, for what they brought in and brought to the house. For sure, that was great. Now, let's get into the game. You get up, you build a whole lot of energy in that first set. Take me through those first couple drives. You go up 14-0. You build a lot of extra momentum with Seiler's first touchdown. You go up 7-0, a beautiful catch. Just take me through those first couple drives.
Yeah, we felt very confident in our game plan. We felt like, our offense had done a great job preparing for what we thought we were going to see. First game, it's always a little unpredictable. Teams make changes in the offseason. But there were a few little changes there, but our guys did a really good job just adjusting in that. But just execution. It wasn't anything crazy. Obviously, Seiler did make some great plays. Jagger made some great throws. The offensive line, unbelievable all night. But just kind of clicking on all cylinders, really that whole first half on offense, and vice versa, the defense, just came out against an offense that's really hard to stop. That's an offense that's going to be close to the top in the nation in yards and points all season, and to hold them to 7 points, to force 2 turnovers in the first half was just an unbelievable job by Coach Ford and the rest of the defensive staff. Committing to their game plan and really doing a great job, giving us the momentum on offense, putting us in good positions on offense to go and score. 21 points, should have been more. We would have loved to score on that last drive, but just a great first half overall on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the defense as well and talk about quick adjustments. They came out with a big hitting play off the start, and you're like, oh boy. And then all of a sudden, they just put together a beautiful stand, hold them up, and then your offense comes back out onto the field. That's got to give a lot of confidence as a coach and for your offense as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Defense, really is going to be big for us all year. And we always talk about, if we win 50 to 45, sometimes that's what it's going to take. Sometimes it's going to be, and we thought this was a game where if we could keep it in the 20s or low 30s, that we would have a really good chance to win, as good as UPike's going to be all year on the offensive side of the ball. Defense played their hearts out. I know we'll get into it probably a little bit, but, defense played their hearts out all night, just, ask them just to do a little too much there at the end. Offense had the chance to have the ball a couple times in the second half and go win the game. Just couldn't quite get it done. But, man, can't say enough about the defense, pressuring the quarterback, doing a great job in the secondary, and really just being physical and playing hard the whole game, I think, was the difference for us to really have a chance to win that game.
So let's take a look at some of our big players and some of the stats as well. Jagger Gillis comes in, throws a tremendous ball, throws great. He had 200-plus yards and 3 touchdowns in that first half. He was looking great. Andre Seiler comes in, has 3 touchdowns in that first half. That first half offense, nearly untouchable. Noah Gray comes up, makes some big plays. He gets 2 sacks. He made a little noise his freshman year, sophomore year coming back, no different. And we were talking a lot in the booth as well about, the KCU transfers that come in. They were already starting off their Tiger careers with some big plays and making some big moments. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, something we talked about last week, this really cool dynamic and mesh that we've got of, guys that are returning that have, had an impact here in the past, transfer guys that are going to have an impact for us moving forward, and then even some true freshmen that were able to go in Saturday and make some big plays for us. And at the end of the day now, I'll tell the team this, it's not return or transfer incoming freshmen. This is the team. This is the Campbellsville Tigers for the 2023 season. And just impact from all different places. Obviously some great individual performances on both sides of the ball. But really I think the most impressive thing, one of the most encouraging things was there wasn't any big glaring weaknesses. We played really well in all 3 phases of the game. It was a very clean game, only 1 turnover on our side. We forced 2 turnovers. One of our just main goals for special teams the first game of every year is have 11 guys on the field every special teams play, and we did, and that was really big. And that's just a testament, 1, to our staff that's worked their butts off for the last month to get prepared for this, and 2, to our players who have really bought in, put a lot of ego and pride aside. I mean, there's guys that played Saturday night in a different role than they were playing last year, guys that were maybe starters at this school or another school last year that are now serving in a different role, that are running down on kickoff, that are going in as a backup, and really just, selfless, and that's really what it takes for us to have a special season.
So you're a hair away really from making that touchdown to Patrick Oden. Now, it's easy to be an armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
It is. Everybody does it, and I get it. But nobody's on that sideline. Nobody understands everything that goes into it.
Yep.
So just take me through a little bit of the choice to go for it rather than either take your field goal or maybe take a first down, you take a shot to the end zone. Maybe just take me through that decision and just kind of talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I always talk to my staff and even to my players that we're always going to be a staff and a team, and I'm a head coach that's going to play to win the game, be aggressive. That's the whole point. I want to never, say, well, let's just not lose the game, but to play to win the game. And it's also a mindset, right? We're trying to build something to win a conference championship this year. So I want my team to take on those characteristics. It's a 38-yard field goal. Collin Sheffield, phenomenal true freshman kicker, first college football game. He's super talented, all the confidence in the world to him to make a 38-yard field goal in that situation. True freshman long snapper Gavin Young, all the confidence in the world to him to make that snap. We had the previous PAT not gotten the ball on the ground and gotten the kick away. Factored maybe just a little bit into it, but really it was the ultimate confidence in our guys up front to protect, Jagger in the backfield to make the right decision, and our receivers to get separation. The play itself is not necessarily designed just to throw that certain pass that was thrown. It's whatever the defense is giving, but Jagger made the right read, threw a great ball, Pat ran a great route, and it's just one of those that talked about earlier where we didn't quite make the game-winning play when the opportunity presented itself. Not just that one, but others throughout the third quarter, fourth quarter, others on their 5-minute touchdown drive that they kind of sealed the game with. And that's something where we've got to learn how to win, right? A program that wins have been scarce over the last few years, learning how to win. And I have a good coaching friend that says when you're trying to build a program, the first step is to lose close, right? And those always hurt, but those build character. And then the second step is to win close, and then you eventually win big. And so, I hope we see that progression. I hope over, this week we're able to get our first win, and I hope it's big. I hope we skip that second step. But, man, just, again, very encouraged. This game, playing in those games will pay off sometime through this year where a conference championship's on the line, hopefully.
Yeah, and it never comes down to just one call or one play. It's so much, but I know that was one of the big questions that I think a lot of people were asking me, and I just wanted to kind of see your thoughts on it. I appreciate it, Coach. We're going to let you out of the lights for just a second, and we're going to bring in Coach Atwood here on Under Center with Jake Russell.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm with Coach Atwood. Coach Atwood, how you doing today? Let's start out. I'm so glad to have you back in the seat. It's always a treat when our paths cross.
Yeah, man, I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here. Really proud of, kind of where we are and how far we've come in such a short amount of time. Love our team, love our staff. Just really excited to be part of, what's getting ready to happen with Campbellsville University football.
You're starting your 11th season,
Yep.
and you've seen a lot through the years. There's a lot of change that has hit this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that we could hammer it enough. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record by the end of it all. But what has all the change been like? How's this been?
Yeah, it's been great. Like I said, I really love our new staff. I get along great with all the guys. And, it's been great to, see Coach Russell in this light. And, I've seen him from afar. Coaching other places in the league and stuff. But, excited for him, excited for the young men in our program and the way it's being led. I think it's really going to go in a great direction. Just so many great things to brag on, how our young men act around campus and, treat other people, and then how they acted and presented themselves during the game. Even with some tough adversity and things like that, I thought that we carried ourselves with class, and, I'm really proud of that.
So let's talk a little bit about your position. I don't think it changed too much. Outside linebackers and co-special teams coach. What has that been like for you?
Well, I actually absorbed the insides too. So
Okay.
if you see a linebacker out there messing up, that's on me. If you see a linebacker playing great, we just recruited a good one. So really it's been awesome. Having a whole staff that really loves special teams and gets involved in things is awesome. But Coach Beatty's been phenomenal for me personally. So it's great to have him on staff, and we'll text or doodle something on a piece of paper, on a napkin sometimes, and slide it to each other. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I think we have some great things, special teams wise, throughout the year that you guys will see, us display. But number one, I think we'll play extremely hard on kicking game plays, and we'll really get after it. And, we were really close to springing a couple of big kickoff returns in the game the other day, and Coach Brown's doing a phenomenal job working that unit. And, all the coaches kind of have a little unit that they're working with. So all of those really, that's been awesome. I'm really pumped and fired up about our kicking game. And it's honestly been great because, with kickoff return and kickoff and all those things that are happening, I don't have to all the time be the only person that's like thinking or worrying about that or the depth chart or injuries. It was kind of a unique experience for me in game one of like every time there was a kicking game play, I was like, oh, I got to And then I was like, oh yeah, so-and-so's taking care of that. This is awesome. And then I could just really, you know, I'm really focused on big time on punt, you know, making sure our punts and things like that are great. And our kickers, you know, they're pretty much kind of still my responsibility and things. But it's been awesome, man. I love, you know, what we're doing scheme-wise and special teams and as a staff.
Definitely give a little love to the special teams because, you know, Lopez is a fantastic punter.
Yeah.
I mean, he can boom the ball with the best of them. And then you all had the blocked field goal, I believe.
Yep.
So that was one of the big spots, too, to keep points off that board and get your defense out of it, put your offense back on the field.
Shout out to CJ, man. That was a phenomenal play by him. You know, you look at every extra point field goal that they attempted, that man CJ was 110 miles an hour, really laying himself out there. But the whole defense has really bought into that, you know, mentality of, hey, if you kick an extra point, if you kick a field goal, you're in danger because we're coming after it. So that's a big shout out to our defensive coordinator, Coach Ford. He's done an awesome job just setting that in the meeting tempo. You know, hey, this is who we are as a defense.
We were up in the booth, and he got off the ball so quick.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for an offside flag to come in, and it never came, and it was a gorgeous play.
He just has a phenomenal understanding of timing. He reads that snap really well and gets a great jump. Like if he was a drag racer, like he would be phenomenal. His reaction time is just picture perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so what have you been most excited about with this new season moving forward?
Really just a lot of new faces. I love the room that I have, the linebackers. They're phenomenal. A lot of great guys in there, and there's not a selfish kid in the room. You know, it's easy to, you know, we did recruit a really good room, really talented, and it's very deep. You know, we can, you know, rotate a bunch of guys and play a lot of different kids at those spots. And, man, no one's upset about it. No one's pouting and no one's being, you know, hey, coach, well, I need to play this more. Those guys are all bought into, hey, you know what, this is a great unit. When I'm out there for whatever amount of plays, I'm going to go as hard as I can. So that, for me, has been a true blessing. Just being in that room every day with those guys, man, it's awesome. They're a lot of fun to coach and get after it. Got some old guys that have some experience. And then there's some new faces and a couple of new faces you're yet to see that you're going to see soon, though.
We were talking off camera a little bit. One thing that we found funny, you have a get-back coach now, and that was entertaining to watch on the sideline.
It was really kind of just like a last-minute thing. I messed with it some during some of the scrimmages. Some of my responsibilities and stuff on defense with Coach Ford being in the press box, I just need someone to kind of make sure I don't get us a flag and get us in trouble, stay out of the referee's way. So I grabbed my guy LD before the game. I was like, hey, just take care of this for me. I kind of coached him up on what I needed. And then it really was phenomenal for me, though, because I'm kind of wiry and a little bouncy at times and kind of everywhere. So I really could just watch the game and didn't have to worry about running into the trainers or running into the referee or being on the field when I shouldn't be after we've called a play or whatever. And, you know, LD did a great job just kind of making sure I was out of that white area there. And that's a huge emphasis from the referees for safety and definitely something that I want to abide by. And, you know, the biggest reason I didn't want to be distracted by worrying about that, I just wanted to focus on the team and what we were doing. So I just grabbed LD about 5 minutes before the game and was kind of, hey, this is what I need you to do for me, man. So
what have you learned about your team so far in this early stretch?
Oh, man, the grit. I love our fight and grit that we have and the passion that we play with. We play extremely hard at every position. Like, those guys are out there, the guys on the sideline, man, they love to compete and they love football. And I'm actually, like, it's such a weird feeling, like no one likes to lose, but I'm so excited about how we're going to respond, how we've already responded. You know, in meetings yesterday, even Sunday, you know, guys were blowing my phone up. The linebacker group chat was just very intense and very, hey, you know, this is not going to happen to us. Like, we're not going to let a lead slip away. You know, we're really fired up. I'm excited to see how we're going to respond. We have a great like moral compass and character within our team right now, it feels like. So I'm thrilled, man. I can't wait to get to practice today, really. I'm itching. I wish we could have practiced at 6 a.m. today. Like, I can't wait to get out there, work on Bluefield and the game plan for, those guys and the challenge that they bring. But I love our fire and desire from our team that just was on display. And it was an awesome crowd. I mean, I can't thank the fan support, all of our families, my family, everyone else's too, that were there at the game and supporting. Like, that was awesome.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach Atwood, and I can't wait to see your team play on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm thrilled, man. Big challenge ahead with Bluefield and their offense, but we got something.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll be right back with head coach Jake Russell to talk about the upcoming match with Bluefield here on Under Center with Jake Russell.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you
Welcome back to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm Collin Sheffield. Coach, welcome back to the lights. Now, you're taking on Bluefield, Virginia. We'll get to that in a second. But what did you learn about your team in that first game here at home that you can take with you for the rest of the season?
That we're really good, and we have the potential to accomplish a lot of the goals we set out before the season. We were very excited about, as a staff, to just see if we were any good. Everybody feels pretty good about their team through fall camp. I think this year just being so unique with a lot of new faces, or even new faces for us. First game for everybody, with the new staff. Almost felt like I said earlier, a new chapter, new environment out there Saturday night. Big game, good team, knew there was going to be a good team coming in. And I just learned that our team is good enough to go and compete for a conference championship this year. Hear from a lot of people, this is a building process. It's going to take time. As coaches, as competitors, as players, we feel like the time's now. And again, would love to win it, but there's something bigger out there that we're building towards. And I think Saturday night was a huge step in that direction.
Now, we'll talk about your very talented team for just a quick second. Some of the guys that hit the Mid-South Conference watch list: Jalen Beckton, Cade Kroom, Jagger Gillis, Devin Neely, Jeremiah Pauling, and Luke Shepperson. Mm-hmm. Now, Jagger Gillis came out. We obviously know he had a great game. He was the Mid-South Conference Player of the Week, and that's the first, I believe, Offensive Player of the Week since his quarterback's coach, Hunter Brown, won it back in 2017. So this is a very special team and one that the conference really should be on watch for.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Jagger, just phenomenal player, just great decision maker, obviously talented. All the quarterbacks at this level are talented, but what's given him a lot of success just in his few starts last year and to win the job and in the first game this past Saturday, just his decision making. I mean, he's doing a great job being coachable. He's doing a great job of being disciplined, taking what the defense is giving. And he's a great leader for us back there. I think he's winning the guys over. I think the guys see him as their quarterback, which is huge, and a guy that they look back at and say, this guy right here can lead us to a conference championship. And that's everything as a quarterback and when you're trying to go win.
So Bluefield, Virginia, they played Florida Memorial. They won 50-47. That's a little bit of a shootout there. They win by 3 in a close one. They were in the preseason receiving votes. This looks like a pretty highly passing team just from one game. Obviously, that doesn't tell the whole story. But what have you seen from this Bluefield team that we can expect?
Yeah, I think they're kind of in a transition phase as well. If I remember right, Coach Les told me they lost somewhere around 20 seniors, a lot of fifth-year guys that had that extra COVID year. But they still have some guys that are coming back that are phenomenal football players. They have an identity on offense that they're going to go with, that they excel at, that's made them their program's probably better now than it's ever been. Coach Les is doing a great job down there recruiting and really finding ways to win games. And they are going to throw the ball a lot. It's going to be a great challenge for our defense. It's also going to be a great challenge for our offense to have a big impact on the total game, right? We probably don't want it to be a 50-47 game, to be honest. We want to be able to get first downs on offense, play a very efficient game, and kind of, control the game. Not that we're not going to try to go score 50 points, put our defense in good positions to do what they do best, which is, play free, play fast, and get after the quarterback and kind of make Bluefield play left-handed in a sense, with some things we're going to do on the defensive side.
I'm sure I don't have to tell you much about the senior wide receiver, Thomas Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He had 5 catches for 220 yards, a long of 75, 2 touchdowns, averaging 44 yards a catch. Now, this is obviously going to present a little bit of a challenge for your cornerbacks and your safeties. Any special game planning, or are you sticking to what you've got so far?
Yeah, obviously know that guy very well, and their quarterback as well. Played him twice last year at KCU, and he's super talented, just a big receiver that can run, make a lot of plays, great ball skills. We're very confident in our guys. Again, our staff's worked their butt off coaching these guys, recruiting, getting the guys in here, and those guys are chomping at the bit. They love this stuff. DBs are kind of the most flamboyant, confident guys at times, and they love these matchups, so they're looking forward to it. We will do some things. Obviously, anytime you're playing a player of that caliber, a guy who's probably going to be an All-American, you got to kind of game plan a little bit of how to minimize him and just make it tougher for him to do what he wants to do. And they're built around explosive plays. So I think limiting those on that side of the ball and also creating those on the offensive side of the ball can really be a big difference in the game.
So what are some of the keys to success in this second game, now that you've got an idea of the identity of your team, who your team is, what they're going to give you? What are some of the keys to going out there and getting this road win?
Yeah, just execution for 4 quarters, right? I just told a lot of people over the last few days, our energy, our focus, our effort did not deter at all throughout the game. I think the execution did. We got up, we're really controlling the game, dominating the game at times, and it kind of got to the 3rd and 4th quarter, and it was like our guys were looking around like, wait, are we really dominating? Are we really this good? And it's like, yes, believe that we are that good. Like, go put the nail in the coffin, go finish games, go do what great teams do, which last Saturday night would have went and stayed ahead 3 or 4 touchdowns and put the nail in the coffin in that game. And this is another great opportunity to play a good team. Like you said, they're receiving votes. They're going to be right in there all year. They're going to win a lot of games in their conference, probably compete right up there in their conference as well. Like I said, a team that's better now, more confidence than they've ever had in their program. So just super excited, just excited for our guys. They're chomping at the bit. Now, one thing I told the guys after the game was, it hurts. It's the crazy thing about football is you just don't get many games. So when you're that close and you have something that kind of feels taken away from you, that pain can be the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. And I'm very confident that our guys, the young men in our program, are going to use this to get a lot better really fast.
Well, thank you, Coach Russell, for coming in, and thank you to Coach Atwood for coming in as well. Tiger fans, be sure to tune in on 88.7 The Tiger this Saturday as the Tigers hit the road and look to pick up their first win and road win of the season as they take on Bluefield. Be tuned in to 88.7 The Tiger for coverage on that. Myself and Khalil Baker will be there. Kickoff set for 1:30. Pregame coverage will start at 1:20. Thank you for tuning in to Under Center with Jake Russell.